Every ride I do starts like this, about a quarter of a mile of gravelly track. It's quite hard work in Brompton, but now Brompton have made a bike specifically for me. Thank you. Let's take it somewhere quiet in the countryside so we can look at all the features. If you followed Reddit, you might have had an inkling that a 20-inch Brompton was on its way. Well, here it is. We've borrowed this one from Brompton ahead of the launch date. They haven't told us what to say, but by the way, it is called the G Line. It's available in 3 colours. This is Adventure Orange. Now the sun's come out, you can see that the paintwork is sparkly, and no, it's not just rain. There's also Trail Dust White, which Brompton internally call Champagne, and that's a much better description of what it looks like. And then there's Forest Green. It comes in 3 sizes, small, medium and large. The main frame is the same, it's just the stem and the seat post that varies. So the small has a standard, the medium has an extended, and the large has a telescopic seat post, and the stem increases with them. This is a small, which is perfectly big enough. I'm 5'6", I wouldn't want a medium. We would really recommend you go and ride one and make sure it's the right size for you before you buy one. We're going to run through the specs front to back. Starting with the handlebar grips. They're Brompton own branded ergonomic handlebar grips that have been made specifically for the G Line, but you could change them to a 130mm lock-on grip. The end of these grips look like someone forgot it was Brompton, didn't know how to park them. It has this bell, which on this bike is mounted correctly. On our other demo bike it disappears off down the handlebar. I think this bike hasn't enjoyed his demo days because he's got a bit scratched. They've got a Brompton logo here and here. Well, it's writing here. It comes with one type of handlebar. These. They're 65 centimetres long. They have Tektro hydraulic disc brakes. You can stop. The 8-speed shifter on the Alpine is a micro shift. The manual has 140mm centre-lock rotors front and rear. They're made by TRP. It could be one of your first customisations to make them coloured and funky. The disc brakes have a flat mount, which can be slightly more challenging to set up if you change them. The stem has bolts for your water bottle. Absolutely perfect for this Fidlock water bottle. It has self-aligning hinge clamps on both the stem and the main frame. It just makes it a bit easier to unfold. The new hook that looks much more like the Brompton Electric. In similarity to a standard Brompton, the main frame is steel, as is the rear triangle. The forks and stem are alloy. The frame between the manual and the electric is the same, and this hole is for the cable routing used on the electric. The way the stem attaches to the forks is more like the T-Line, much more like a traditional bike with the headset. The handlebar catch is similar in design to the T-Line, slightly different from the P and C line. One of the parts that is nearly the same as the standard Brompton is the front carrier block, so you can use all of your existing luggage. It's just the bolts that hold it on are different. So the big difference is the wheel size. We've got a 20-inch wheel, which has a 20 by 2.1 tyre on it. You've got a choice of 2 tyres, a Continental Contact Urban or a Schwalbe G1. The Schwalbe G1 are tubeless ready, but it's not set up tubeless. That's a job we're going to have to do when we get ours in. So we can run this tubeless, which really is a game changer for the gravel bike rides you want to do on it. The bike comes with a Presta valve for you roadies that like things like that. It has a bolt-through front axle. It tells you how tight to do it up if you forget. It comes in 2 configurations. It either has mudguards and a rack, or it has no mudguards and no rack. There's no mudguard only option. The mudguards are like massive P-line mudguards. They're hard plastic. The mudguard flap is the same front and rear. It does still use a square taper bottom bracket. Our rep said that it uses the same crankset as the C and P line. Looking at it, the bottom bracket looks wider or longer, so that the crank arms are moved further away to accommodate the wider rear triangle. The crank is only available in a 50 and a 54 tooth chainring. It comes with these large platform pedals, with the left one being quick release. My bike will fall over if I unplug it. As with the Superlight pedals, you can store the left one in the back of the forks. It has a chain catcher. It has really large roller wheels with bearings in them, and they seem to just spin forever. Interestingly, the seat post bung is in contact with the rear frame. So the seat post bung on a C Line Brompton is used to stop your Brompton moving when you're on the train. The suspension block at first glance looks like it's the same as the P Line, but we believe it's not because the part code is different. Oh, it has a different locking block from everything else. The seat post clamp also looks like it might be the same. It has a G Line serial plate. If you're looking for parts that are used on all Bromptons, the seat post, pentaclip and saddle are probably the only parts common to them all. The advanced roller rack is different from that which is used on the P or the T Line, but it looks quite similar. It has an 8-speed Shimano Alpine hub. The chain tensioner at first glance looks similar to that which you're used to, but it's different, and it's got a whole new dropout going on here. Oh, and you've got to learn how to set your hub gears up. It has a new style rear reflector. Strangely, our bike doesn't have a front reflector. I don't know where he's gone. Run off. Disappeared. It, of course, has all new hinges that I think are supposed to be user serviceable. It also comes as a Brompton Electric, which is a 4-speed. We'll show you that in a minute. But first of all, let's see how it folds. Folds like a Brompton, but a bit bigger and slightly heavier. So let's unfold it, because our demo day guys had a bit of issues. They found it a bit cumbersome to unfold. In fact, there's quite a lot of outtakes of them failing to fold or unfold it. I guess it's just because it's like unfolding a Brompton, but bigger. Now, let's see how it rides. Time for weights and measures. It weighs in at 15.13 kilos. So we thought we'd compare the weight to my everyday Brompton. It's a C Line 6-speed with a dynamo front wheel that weighs in at 12.71 kilos. And compare the weight to our Chapter 3, which is a P Line, and it's 5-speed, which weighs in at 9.71 kilos. That's quite light for a Brompton. So how much bigger is this bigger bike? We're going to compare it to a C Line with similar specs, so it's got a rack. So from the roller wheel to the end of the suspension block is approximately 53 centimetres. From the ground to the top of the saddle is approximately 63 centimetres, and the C Line, where it's approximately 30 centimetres at the most. It's interesting to note on the C Line that the saddle is the highest point, but the front of the bike is actually the highest point on the G Line. So let's take away the C Line. The length of the G Line from the mudguard flap to the end of the saddle is approximately 71 centimetres. The height from the floor to the highest point, which is the folded part, is 68 centimetres. The width of the G Line from the roller wheel to the edge of the folded handlebars is approximately 38 centimetres. Not that much bigger. Did we miss anything? I reckon we probably did, but don't worry, we will be making some follow-up videos on, for example, setting up your hub gears, making your tyres tubeless, changing your discs. But if there's anything you particularly want to see, please let us know. So in summary, I think Brompton got a lot of engineers in one room and said, designer bigger Brompton with 20 inch wheels, but make sure you don't use any of the same parts from the other Bromptons. Apart from, of course, the saddle, the pentaclip and the seat post. You can use them. If you like this video about the new Brompton G Line, we'd really like it if you gave us a big thumbs up. And again, I almost forgot, there's a whole set of new luggage coming out. We'll make videos on that later. Am I working? Good. I'm really sorry, this video could be a little bit short because these bikes are still under embargo and we haven't got enough brown paper to wrap them up so that we can take them anywhere really good for a ride. So sorry if it is. It's available in 3 colours. This one is Adventure Orange. There's also 2 that I've completely forgotten the colour names of. So what am I doing now? Am I going through... The manual has 140mm. The handlebar clamp assembly is much more simple. I can check if you want. The wheels have 28 spokes on the front and 34 on the rear. The new hook, which really looks a bit much more.
Forward failure.
Ow. 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 It has a Presta valve. centimetres long, and they're like little mountain bike. Should we do it again without me? Did we miss anything? Sorry, I need to see that again without. If you like this video about the new Brompton G Line, we'd really like it if you gave us a big thumbs up. And I can't hold it. I'm looking forward to having this on a train and having to run down and catch it as the train goes away.